Pressure mounts on the DPP, says the Sunday Guardian. And then all of a sudden, and this is the dangerous part. As you all could see, I slow down and I soften my voice. That is to tell you how serious what I'm going to talk about here now is. Remember, I came out of the womb of an attorney, one of the best ever, my mother. I was put in there by a solicitor and an attorney at law, one of the best ever, Al Roberts. Two other fellas who shared the womb with me. The older one, Oxford, Harvard Law. The younger one, brilliant attorney of 20 years, standing and counting. My son, their grandchild, lawyer in June. My sister, lawyer specializing in marine law, which is one of the hardest and most sought after. So when I say that I grew up around law, the legal profession, the judiciary, our whole lives were entwined around that. And respect for judges, for the judiciary, the Chief Justice, the independence of the court, magistrates' court, all of these things are ingrained in my very DNA and my fiber. So what I am about to talk about and discuss, I never envisaged or fathomed that I would ever be in any position so to do. The Chief Justice comes out and printed in the PNM media with gusto, with luster, with love. The Chief Justice comes out and says, Gaspard responsible for staff shortage. Blame the DPP. Now, first of all, Honorable Chief Justice, absolutely not on. You know that better than I can ever know that. Coming out with a public statement to attack, criticize, chastise a member of the judicial fraternity and independent office holder is just not on at any time. Because public confidence in these offices, the only thing that could hold our dying country together, the only thing that before your statement was saving us from total anarchy and political oppression and tyranny was the judiciary. Because it may move slow, but truth normally prevails in a high percentage of times in the judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago. So while all other independent institutions are tainted with the Balisay brush, and tomorrow President's house is painted in Balisay red and yellow, the one place that citizens could feel some sort of comfort that if they argue their facts and they put forward their case, they can get a fair hearing is the judiciary. And you know better than me, Honorable Chief Justice, that what you did was wrong, that it was uncalled for, it's inappropriate, it's nonsensical. It brings the judiciary, the office of the DPP, the judicial system into disrepute and should never ever have happened. The mere fact that I have the statement from you, words like this, criticizing and attacking another independent constitutional office is totally inappropriate, and you know that better than me. I cannot even pretend to understand why. Why would you? Why did you? What is going on? Why? It is not on. And I am not even an attorney who went to be called by the bar and put a bag and robe and all of that. Because me, I couldn't say yes, my lord. When my lord is wrong, I would have get pelt in jail for contempt. I tell my mother, I can't do that. Bless her soul. But even when judges wrong, talking nonsense, analyzing, not listening, she had to say, yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. Not the Douglas. The Douglas would have said, fire burn you, my lord. And you and all you would have said, go in jail, contempt of court. So I come out. I went and coach people, children, win Olympic medal, world record, Pan Am gold. That's why I went and do. But even I know that this, before I even go into what you said, the mere fact that you did this, this is not on, sir. You know that. This is horrendous. This is terrible. This goes against all your brilliance, all your training, all your education, all your integrity, all that you know to reach where you reach. You know that better than I do. And I don't know why. Why, sir? Why? And just to show you, sir, that what you did was now jump into the realm of politics and bring the judiciary into disrepute, disregard, odium. Look at the P&M Express one time. You know, when you jump into politics, you could always tell by one of these mass media newspapers. Listen to the P&M Express editorial today. After you know, I know, and anybody in a legal profession who took a course even will know that this is wrong. This is wrong. Call in. All you do, all your thing, all your cuss and shout indoors in a sealed room like here in Atlantic with padding and things so nobody could hear. You and the DPP go and trash it out. But this, no, no, no. But look how you know when you was wrong. When the Express and the P&M support you, you know what you did was wrong. The P&M lies on affidavit. The P&M does not file defenses and lose 20 million. The P&M lies and say file loss. The P&M signs indemnity with a witness in a criminal squeezing and pressuring to bring evidence against political opponents and now have the country up to 100 million. The P&M withdraws lawsuits against those who stole money, 98 million pounds. That's P&M. So when P&M agree with you, sir, you know you're wrong. Here the Sunday Express, 19 March, ball in DPP's court. The 10-page rebuttal by the Chief Justice. Rebuttal. See how they back it. You didn't even rebut, sir, because I'll go into it. Because you talk about all sorts of things other than the issue, which is, the main issue is the staff shortage. That way back in 2014, under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, after deep evaluation by experts on the needs of the DPP office, by independent experts, then brought to cabinet and approved the org structure to have an independent, efficient DPP's office. A number of positions were identified not by politicians, by experts in HR, understanding and studying the job necessities, the workload, safety, security, remuneration, and so on. And Kamla Prasad Bisesa passed that. And up to now, the P&M has not implemented that in any form or fashion. And the DPP's office is down at 35% of the quota that is required. But the Express says that you rebutted the Gaspard. Gaspard didn't say anything or attack the Chief Justice in any form or fashion. He didn't make any or cast any aspersions on you or your office or any way. He stated facts. We are understaffed. We need under pressure. Man have 120 cases per, and we have no different position. We need plenty. We don't have funding. That's all the man said. But you, Express, come to say that you rebutted somebody who didn't attack you. Okay. The Chief Justice, in response to the Director of Public Prosecutions' complaint about a shortage of lawyers at his office, is a studied and tempered response that alters the confrontational tone that was developing between the office of the DPP and the executive. Well, if they read this and they find this not confrontational nor argumentative, then something is wrong with the Express. Because let me go into this here now. The detailed statement by Chief Justice Ivor Archie has lifted the issue above the unproductive combativeness of both the Prime Minister and the AG. Well, yes, that might be the only truth. That you didn't go down as far in the gutter as Rowley and Lymore. But I would not expect a man of your ilk to do so. In a statement posted on the Judiciary's Facebook page and website, first and foremost, Sir, Honorable Chief Justice, for you to post something on Facebook, that alone should tell you something wrong. He felt constrained to speak out at this time to address what he called the misconceptions that are circulating in the public domain regarding criminal justice. No! You don't have to, you're not constrained to respond to nothing. You are your work to do. You have to do your meetings. We need to have confidence in all of this that's going on. So I don't know what constrained you to respond. What motivated you. What you're so passionate about to breach all the principles of propriety, decorum, and proper protocol. I don't know what. The Chief Justice said, with regard to internal promotions, so far as the filling of recent vacated offices is concerned, and you talk about on December 1st, 2022, April 28, 2022, July 29, 2022, nothing the DPP said was about this year, this in 1 year. This has been going, this is a statement, this is 8 years understaffed, and it's being exacerbated to the point that the criminal justice system is grinding to a halt because the PNM has not resourced and given the funding and the allocation to the DPP's office to fill salaried positions. And the JLSC, well, you jump in the thing of which you are in charge, has not, because you cannot approve positions if you're not going to get money. You know that, Chief Justice. So if the PNM is not giving you, if you need $90 million to hire 100 attorneys for the year, 90 million per year, and the PNM cabinet on a rowdy tell you fire burn you, we're not giving you that, then you cannot go as the JLSC and go and advertise and interview and hire 100 attorneys. You would not be sane. They would put you in sane hands. So the problem is that Keith Rowley and his government, the Attorney General's office, the PNM government is not allocating resources to the judiciary in order to fulfill and fill out all of the HR categories. That's the truth. But Chief Justice come to talk about a few promotion here and there. That those could be correct. Me ain't getting into that. But that was not the issue. But the Express say you rebutted. Gaspard did not only make the point about senior. They talk about 2 lawyers here and 2 promotions and so on. But the point further is that your court was so understaffed and magistrates and so on that you would grab those with experience and the preponderance of them would come from the DPP office. And when they go up, so it have gap down below. So it's a constant thing. But the main issue is the overall staffing. What lawyers in the DPP office. So the Honorable Chief Justice talking about staffing levels. The Chief Justice also rubbished suggestion by the DPP that he requires at least 150 attorneys to man the criminal courts, saying that when one considers the number of courts and judges, it's simply not workable. I cannot say that I am at all convinced, and so I must express concern at the insistence by the DPP on this level of staffing before agreeing to move forward. I must also admit that I am at a loss to see the need for a ratio of more than 3 prosecutors to a judge. First and foremost, Honorable Chief Justice, it's not the DPP's opinion. The DPP didn't just come and say, oh, I need 150. In 2014, the government of the day, Kamala Prasad Bisessa's government, Anand Ramlogan, Attorney General, hired experts in the HR field, hired experts in organization, in structure, in numbers, in judicial responses, in outfitting and filling out HR for the workload. They analyzed the workload. They projected increases in the workload. They did an in-depth analysis of professionals on the need for human resource at the DPP's office. This was paid for by Kamala Prasad Bisessa from taxpayers' money. The experts gave that number. Not Roger Gaspard, not the DPP. He had nothing to do with that. So I'm not understanding, one, what it's all talking about. And number 2, sir, what expert analysis did you do Did you hire HR experts? Is that part of your expertise? Are you qualified? Did you do an in-depth analysis of the functioning of the DPP, the times, the hours, the quality, the work, the research, and so on, before you gave us your opinion? Or did you just throw out an opinion without any expert numbers, without paying anybody to do an in-depth analysis? If you did that, sir, man, that's wrong. Could someone come in your court with that kind of nonsense and make a case? No, sir, they could not. So I'm deeply disturbed by these assertions. We live in a country, you are in charge of a system that is required facts, numbers, expert. Give us that. If you want to tell me that the DPP, not the DPP, that the analysis done by the experts in 2014 for the org structure of the DPP office is wrong and it's heavily weighted, too much HR, then show me in the Express your study paid for by the judiciary of experts, whether international, local, in human resource, stating that 150 is not necessary, we need 75. Without that, you have just entered the fray with rumor, nonsense, accusations, and you have belittled your office because you have said, you rubbished the suggestion by the DPP that he requires at least 150 attorneys to man the criminal courts, saying that when one considers the number of courts and judges, it's simply not workable. That's not enough. You could consider courts and judges. That's whatever you say. That's not scientific. That's like me coming to say, I coaching an athlete, hey boy, you're looking good, you're looking fit. Me I know what you're doing in the gym. Me I know what time you're holding in your practice, how much yards you do, but you're going to win an Olympic gold medal. They will put me in St. Dan's and give me blue tablet each evening. You then say, I cannot say that I am at all convinced, and so I must express my concern in the insistence. So it's a lot of I. You know what is the solution to I? We. You're in charge of a judicial team and you come out, I don't know why, to attack an independent office holder. For what purpose? Don't you have the goal to get the judicial system moving, to get cases going, to impact the crime situation in our beloved country, to make sure that these murderers out there, when they charge, the police could get through quickly and man cases could, and then those who are innocent, those stay on remand for 10, 12, 15 years. Isn't that your objective? Isn't that the objective of Gaspard and the DPP? Isn't that a team? So how this come? Whose team are you on? I don't understand. Help me. I really don't. The Honorable Chief Justice said, I must also admit that I'm at a loss to see the need for a ratio of more than 3 prosecutors to a judge. Please explain to us why you utilize that criteria and that ratio. Because all the experts that I saw and researched, they don't utilize that ratio alone. About 1 judge, 3 prosecutors to 1 judge. It depends how much caseload. We are hearing that your judges are overworked too. So if your judges are overworked, and you have 1 judge to 3 prosecutors, you are saying, if a judge is overworked, a normal judge might only have 20 cases. Our judges may have 50. I'm just talking, giving examples. So to use a statistic about ratio of judge to prosecutor makes no sense. It has to be done on a scientific basis. Now, if you want to come with that, well, print that. Let me read it, because I'm disappointed in the case you're making here to attack the DPP. I have expressed a view that it is a matter of management, of assignment systems, and of scheduling. That's easy to say. Are you in charge of the DPP's office? How many hours have you spent there? How many hours, how much have you done? How much have you seen? How many cases each person has done? What is your analysis and your time? From what I realize, the Chief Justice does not go to the DPP office. The Chief Justice spends no time there. So how can you have such a strong opinion about management or lack thereof? That sounds very emotive. That sounds like an emotional statement. I am a logical person. I want facts. Right now you could see the pain on my face. I can't believe what I am reading here printed in the Express, and the Express praising you and mama guying you for this. And all I'm asking you is why? What? Why? Why would you do that? Justice, and they even look like they even calling you Archie. Chief Justice Archie posited that in order to avoid the appearance of bias or of engaging combatively with stakeholders, the judiciary is often obliged to take criticism, whether justified or not, and to exercise forbearance while erroneous information circulates, hoping and trusting that other persons or agencies who also have the responsibility to educate the public and ensure the democracy speak out. That's correct. So why did you speak out? What was so egregious now? What was so painful? What attack was on you over and above what you are saying that you had forbearance over the years and that is part of your job and your prescription? What was so emotive? What was so overbearing that forced you to embarrass yourself, the judiciary, our country? What was so? I don't understand. It is most unfortunate, therefore, that it has come to a stage at which, as Chief Justice, I must speak. Sir, no, you must not speak. You should have stayed very quiet. I'm going to check the time there. 9 o'clock, boy. We're going a little overtime. Hot mess concerns that criminal justice system could be undermined. Okay? Let's hear this now. Israel Khan, senior counsel. Israel Khan felt that it is very unfortunate that the Chief Justice jumped into the issue at this point in time and chose to do it in the way he did it. The country will always be skeptical of what the CJ has to say in relation to matters like this. I don't normally agree with Israel Khan. He's a very independent-minded person. On this occasion, I agree with him 100%. But then now you see what happens when you jump out like that. You give people the opportunity to say this. Because he is obligated to the Prime Minister, this is Israel Khan, for not triggering Section 137 in order to ascertain whether he misbehaved in public office. So he's obliged, or he's obligated to the PM, you see? Chief Justice, you give people an opportunity to surmise. I won't surmise on your mens rea, but I am just confused. Hamid Ghani says, Professor Hamid Ghani, who specializes in constitutional affairs and parliamentary studies, said the Chief Justice should not have intervened in this impasse between the Attorney General and the Director of Public Prosecutions. His intervention has now made a very strong case for separating the two roles of Chief Justice, namely as a jurist and as a head of Judicial and Legal Service Commission. He is speaking in his capacity as chair of the JLSC, and he should have exercised better judgment than to go public on a matter that now requires more light than heart by adding his own heat. He felt it is more than curious that all of a sudden the DPP is taking so much public heat from the Prime Minister, the Attorney General, and the Chief Justice ever since he discontinued the charges in Piaco 3 case, even though those public comments by the PM and the AG and the CJ are all unconnected to that case. Om Lala, attorney at law. Once public offices that are meant to be independent, the judiciary and the DPP's office are in any way interfered with, even if it's the perception of that discontent, where that discontent comes up in the public domain, it's dangerous. These offices should always be allowed, at least in the public's eyes, to be maintained without any perception of interference. Avery Sinanan, Senior Counsel. He said, Mr. Gaspard has a reputation for being very straightforward. I don't think he will be shilly-shally in terms of his complaints, and I think that really what needs to be done is for a proper investigation to take place to determine the facts. I think the time has come to go back to basics and appoint a committee to look at it from all sides and see how best the criminal justice system can be harnessed. Now I'm going to the Guardian editorial. Excuse me 1 second. Sahara dust, but I'm going long, don't worry. Now look at the nonsense. And Mr. Sabga, here comes your Guardian again. We put you up earlier. You say, Anil, this makeup thing. Let me show you because I'm not making it up, Mr. Sabga. Okay, my brother, in this critical, serious issue, attack on the mashing up the final pillar holding up our beleaguered country. Here comes your Guardian, Sunday, March 19, 2023 today. Leadership and management. It is simply unacceptable that the justice system should be threatened by staff shortages, which the JLSC seems either incapable or unwilling to fill 9 years after the positions were first agreed upon. It would be unconscionable to even contemplate the possibility that personality differences might be a factor in this regard. If this possibility were not sufficiently frightening, the Prime Minister compounded the imbroglio by saying that the DPP's office had chosen not to occupy designated rental space, thus costing the government millions. No, leave up Mr. Sabga, because I put him there when his newspaper talked nonsense and politics. But so far, sir, see, so far the analysis is based on fact. So that is a point, a checkpoint. Good, very good. So don't feel Anil is unfair. You see this, let's continue. I don't know if they continue correct, but give Jack the jacket. That is fair analysis. See, I don't need them to be on my side or one side or the other side. We just need read a book, talk facts, present facts, tell the truth, don't rewrite history. That's all we want from a newspaper. So far, so good. Since buildings do not prosecute cases, the Prime Minister has not addressed the substantive staffing issues in the DPP's office. Therefore, his comments can only be considered as an attempt to undermine the credibility of the DPP. But to what purpose? How did the Prime Minister's invective advance crime fighting? Furthermore, the DPP's office is a constitutional position above the political fray, not a political opponent. Facts, truth, constitutionality, analysis, correct. Not content with the public relations disaster of the missing file and his clumsy attempt to avoid responsibility for the obvious systemic weaknesses implied by the many default judgments by departments under his control, the Attorney General made a bad situation worse by publicly summoning the DPP. The Attorney General implied a rebuke, a senior to his junior. The DPP staff responded by widening the issue. As if these events were not sufficient cause for concern, the newly appointed commissioner added to the rot. Perhaps the enormity of the COP's promise to reduce the crime rate by June had registered, and she now invoked divine intervention to reduce the murder rate. Whilst we would expect God on her side, we also expect that she would take appropriate action. Pobak Sabga, you see what I'm saying? Sense, and very important, linking the issues in our governance and our structure. But this is not the norm. Your newspaper allows Rowley to impact the president, the former chairperson of the Police Service Commission, and impact the selection of the Commissioner of Police. Your newspaper is going to praise tomorrow Kangaloo PNM being president. How can you not continue on this intelligent analysis without emotion, without partisanship? So I'm telling you, sir, you see, this is good. So don't say Anil only pong in here. This is good. The nation faces difficult challenges requiring a mature, considered approach from office holders to achieve successful outcomes. The country cannot afford either a justice system compromised by petty personal differences or a political directorate that forgets the limit of its authority. Intelligent leadership and diligent, competent management are required if the ship of state is to stay afloat and on course for a brighter shore. But the ship of state has sunk because your newspaper, this is not the norm. This is true journalism based on fact, not playing games. So, sir, if you want to know what to do and pull them in, hire journalists, professionals who don't like Anil, don't like Kamla, don't like Rowley, don't like Al-Rawi. They love the country. Just print the truth, ask the hard questions, and analyze and do the fact checking. End of story. Kamla did the work 9 years ago. Say sorry, Armor, says the DPP, all the lawyers. Prosecutors still are waiting the apology. All you wait, don't hold your breath, you know. Because one thing, you know, when a man has no class and a man can lie on an affidavit, say a file loss and lie when it's not lost. Lost 64 million. In 1 year, the worst attorney general in the world, gone to represent a man, lie that he's a senior counsel and a note taker. You waiting for this man to apologize? This man can't even spell apologize.